All right, let's see what Sam has to say.
We're back, folks. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, okay.
we discussed earlier that you have the ability to show your solidarity with federal workers.
Yeah, even more Roman salutes. Let's go. Oh, God, again? Who did it this time? Are you talking about Steve Bannon, or are there more?
And with just the whole idea of being efficient by emailing.
There we go.
What's the address again?
This is the exact story I wanted to cover, so.
OPM.
hr@opm.gov.
hr@opm.gov. hr@opm.gov. And showing that you want to get with the program too and tell them what you've been doing at work for the past 5 days to justify your job. I would recommend being as detailed as possible, because you never know what part of your day is the one that's really going to speak to your bosses as to showing.
You guys can't actually go to the link and just send a random email telling them what you did, with your week at work. I feel like this is a good opportunity. When's the last time somebody actually asked you how your day was and what you did, at work or at school?
How much you deserve your job. Like, I know when I come in and I see oh, Emma's moved back the tissue box towards me. I go, I really appreciate her here. And I don't know if off the top of my head, if I was making a list of all the things I do at work, if she would write that. So that's what I would do. Make it as long as possible. And if you don't want to write it yourself, go to ChatGPT or whatever your favorite AI is and ask it to write for your job. The other thing you can do is something like this. At HUD.
Just an aside, did you guys see what happened with the Marvel team where they fired the director and the entire creative team behind it? And does anybody else think that that's because they're just going to pump that all into AI and that's how they're going to get the stuff done now?
HUD, where I think they're starting to lay off people willy-nilly. There's no rhyme or reason to this whatsoever.
Yeah, I know it's not federal government. That's private sector, but still.
Efficiency is really about looking at an agency or a company.
Well, Mitesh, the best way to do that is to admire her, and then if you meet a girl that reminds you of her, then you can, definitely shoot your shot, but also, be respectful.
Company or an enterprise.
I don't know why I have to have this conversation.
What are the vital things? And what are the things?
Big Brother's a lot more boring than they actually thought it was going to be. They didn't think it was actually going to be a Big Brother online going, hey, man, you got to respect those ladies.
That are not so vital. And really assessing that and analyzing it and then saying, we don't need these non-vital things. Now, of course, that's not what Dodgy, whatever it is doing. They're just trying to destroy agencies, period. By wreaking as much havoc as possible and chaos.
Kind of like how private equity wasn't trying to make Toys R Us more efficient.
Yep.
Yes, this is just extracting value out of it. And, a lot of this is just BS, too. Let's just be clear. They're taking out agencies that they want, to avoid these agencies inhibiting profit for their ventures and other of their friends' ventures, essentially. Now, some resourceful person at HUD, apparently, they have a video communication system in HUD where they have TVs there, and some resourceful.
I just picture Mitesh doing the thing where he's in Brooklyn and he has the little the stick with the box where he puts a little let's see, what does I was about to say a sports book, but that's not even fair.
person.
What would,
And this type of person,
Emma would just look at it and just be like, "What's your problem?"
this is what you're
Let's be
looking
real.
for. You're looking for somebody who is an out-of-the-box thinker, who is a communicator, who maybe has some technical skills, and who's going to break things and take names and disrupt things. This is the kind of worker, and I think to that extent, kudos for Elon and Trump for getting folks like this to really show their value. This must be. I'll tell you what I would do if I was writing HR at opm.gov to tell why I deserve a job, my job. This would be first on my list. Look at what someone has posted.
This is wonderful.
Long live the real king. And
The fact that they did this is amazing because, dude, this did not escape Trump. And I can tell you right now, every time he sees just one of these things, this is the stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to be a random tweet. It's going to be a random person. It's no government agency, nothing. It's going to be just a random person with a really good zinger about one of these things at the right time, and he's going to lose his shit.
and it's Donald Trump rubbing
Massaging and sucking Elon's toes.
Yeah.
In the Oval
I mean,
Office.
It's honestly,
For
it's
how
very
funny
well
it is,
done.
it's also disgusting.
Creative, it's thoughtful. There's a couple more. Here we go. We got a lot of videos of it.
Jeff Stein here, you can see how it's on both the TV in the foreground and the TV in the background.
I mean, it's just very well done. It's very well done. Now, I'll have to say, too, keep it up there, because I think one of the things that is I like about this is that it's understated.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, I'm so proud of myself for making this video. I want everybody to see it, but they put the chyron over it as a way of saying, like, I'm confident in my product. Like, I don't need to shove it in your face. This is the kind of
Like a
worker
pair of
I would
Elon
want.
feet.
This is the kind of person needs a promotion. That's all I'm saying.
It seems like the meritocracy is working well.
Less is more.
Yep.
Yep.
Philly cheesesteak. In my email to OPM subject line, what I did last week, I was busy working on the new incel fragrance, Lone Scum.
All right, he goes right into the next segment I wanted to.
CPG, Sam, last week on my 35th
Specifically,
birthday, I
some of
was
the guys
accepted to
feeling a
law
little
school. Can I
regret
get
right
a
now.
shofar to celebrate?
I love
All
women
right,
that just don't love me back. What are you doing wrong, Mitesh? Upon reflection. If you want to get serious, I mean, I'll help you.
Jack from Colorado. God, let Emma get a word in. Emma is not here today. I think I mentioned that several times. Oh, here's the video. Nice. It's on the top of the Washington Post.
Oh, wow.
Joking too much?
I don't know. All right. That's pretty good. It's just 8 seconds long. So it's got to be the same thing we had.
I probably want to see it in 4K, though.
4K, it's definitely much better in that one.
Hey, Kenzie,
That's
how you
really
doing?
Nice. It's nice work.
No, you don't. Do everything wrong, Pep? Hell no, you don't. You proved that wrong just by the merit of my dog loving you more than he loves me. I mean, yes, you could be like, oh, I'm buying love at that point, but you are. I'm not doing it. Uh-oh, I'm not helping.
As we talk about federal workers who
Just
have
kidding,
been summarily terminated, this is NBC 10 Philadelphia's
great.
Brian Sheehan is on with a guy named Robert McCabe, a former IRS employee. This clip's a little.
Letting them call it a Roman salute, just call it the Zeke Heil. No, we're playing right into it. Nope. nope. And don't let them gaslight you with that, oh, you call everything a Nazi. It's like, no, this is actually Nazi shit, and you need to be embarrassed about it. Like, seriously, do you have that much? It's like, do you have that much confidence? Like, seriously? Because at that point, okay.
A little bit long.
Have fun, bud.
Not too bad.
Just remember.
Check this out.
Tell me what happened today.
So, I mean, I went in at my normal time. When I arrived there,
Oh, Anthony, hey, what's up, dude?
you know, everybody was in a very downtrodden mood. And when I went to
I missed 420 somewhere. I missed it.
my computer,
So did
you know,
I. Yeah,
everybody
5
was
minutes
having
late,
some
guys.
technical
All right, well.
issues. Like none of our
Yeah, that was
computers
East Coast
were
or,
really
West Coast, too.
loading
Ah.
up either the programs that we needed to operate or like Teams. My story is the Teams. You know, that's kind of how I figured out that we were getting fired today. Was when I went in, I logged into Teams, and I sent you the photo of what I saw when I went to log in. And that's when I left my cubicle and I went around to everybody else I work with. And I'm like, hey, what's your Teams look like? Some were having trouble, some were able to log in. It was very, very chaotic. I mean, there was no organization to it at all.
Thank you, Mitesh, for the $2 donation for
and
the
basically
the puppy
we just
snack.
sat around for the rest of the day. I mean, talk about government efficiency. We literally sat there and did nothing all day long while we waited for our fate. So again, we got our email saying that we were fired after sitting around all day knowing we were fired. And then we turned in our equipment about an hour or so later, and then we were escorted out of the building.
What do you make of what happened to you and your colleagues today? We hear about 400 employees, including yourself, were laid off.
I mean, it's unfair.
I love how he nonchalantly just goes back to his bed, just like, thank you. I appreciate that. Back to bed.
I mean, I was unemployed, so I was laid off. I was laid off before this job, and it took me 8 months to apply and go through all the background checks and everything I had to do to get this job.
That sucks.
And then 4 months later, now I'm in the same boat I was in before. I don't know how to feel. I'm kind of numb right now. You know, I went out to lunch with one of my buddies after immediately it happened, and
what's his job?
you
I
know,
don't think that we caught that. It's
what
just,
can you do at this point? Aside from reach out to the news organizations, reach out to our senators, reach out to our representatives. I mean, it was an illegal firing. My performance was good. I was I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I was even one of those government employees that went every day of the week. I had to report every Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30. That was my tour duty, and that's what I served. And here I am.
Just to be clear, almost like 6,500, maybe 7,000 IRS agents were fired. Now, the reason why he was fired is because he's considered a probationary, and I don't know what probationary means in the terms of this. Like, it could be 6 months, the first 6 months on your job. Again, if you were promoted within an agency, you are also a probationary hire, and you can get fired. The IRS, for every dollar spent at the IRS, $7 is returned. They will screw up
Or the
IRS
leopards eating
direct
my
file.
face. Yeah, no, it's literally.
That's
I mean,
gonna be
it's
a
being
casualty.
overused, but right, you're not wrong.
Saving your average
happening.
person a ton of money.
Oddly enough, what's really crazy about this is how many of these people were Trump supporters that are the federal workers getting laid off.
They didn't have to
just
file
seeing
with TurboTax.
the,
They didn't have to
discourse on
file with
r/conservative.
HR Block.
Which you guys want to go down a rabbit
And
hole.
it's going to screw up, without a doubt, people's tax returns.
You received a "What did I do last week?" email. So do you have a job anymore?
They're going to be more angry at the IRS.
Why? Why is that bad? Why is having people at the IRS bad, Eli? He just said that. Like he's not wrong. It's boring, I know, but for every dollar spent on an IRS agent, we're getting $7 back, and this is how it works. I had to eat crow back in the during the financial bailout with the banks because I didn't want to believe that they were actually going to, number one, pay it back or any of that shit, that we were going to hold them accountable. I was just like, nah, man, this is too much. Like, we're putting too much faith in them. And then they paid it back with interest. And it turned out that it was a little bit more boring than I thought. And I'm just like, oh, God. Okay. And also, it's the IRS isn't like auditing people like you and me. You know that, right? Like,
This is not about efficiency.
and I'll also say this, if you are doing something messed up enough to get audited, then that means you done fucked up and you kind of deserve it.
If it was about efficiency,
So
in terms of saving the U.S. dollar,
I'm considered essential
you
18
would
years old.
add 6,000 IRS agents. And they would be dedicated to auditing people like Elon Musk.
It was very informal. Well, I thought that he said, or I thought that there was like the stipulation that if you didn't respond, then you were just, it was essentially you saying that you quit.
Millionaires who are avoiding taxation.
Right, because I mean, like the filing services, the private filing services now are tax deductible, so we're essentially paying them to like.
I just love people who are so mad at like prices of things, so mad at taxes, so mad at the idea of taxes, but then when it comes to actually getting like doing something that could make their lives better by making things cheaper for them, they somehow argue against it. That's what I'm sick of. Like, I've been sick of this since I came into politics as a teenager, where I was just like, why are Republicans who live in freaking trailer parks always voting for billionaires? I don't get it. I truly do not understand it. And then they're always voting for Republicans, even though they're the ones always gunning for their Medicare. And then somehow the Democrats never fucking actually have any messaging that they can believe, or they can just say, hey, by the way, you know what? Nah. And then Bernie Sanders, he's the one who kind of comes in and starts doing that. And we saw what happened there. I don't have to go through that again.
in our block to do taxes for people.
When we could be doing this for free.
Yep.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
But now I'm telling you, like, oh, shit, that's another thing. Like, Unimoogle, if you're watching this, submit our taxes.
Super easy. I think with the IRS direct file, I don't think you can do it if you have any 1099 income. It's all W-2.
It's
You can do it if it's
Eastern.
1099 interest, but not non-employee compensation.
That's what happens when incompetent people write emails. I don't think it's incompetent people. The way that I see it, they're literally putting this through AI, having one person go, okay, if they even have that.
Because Mila and I were going to...
No, they really, dude, this is what's really scary, is they don't see that their AI sucks. They believe their own bullshit. They think this is the greatest product ever, and they think it's going to, save the... Like, did you see that one guy that was just like, oh yeah, we're going to be firing so many visual effects artists in the next 2 years. It's going to reshape the industry. I was just like, oh, that's going to make a lot of people who spent their entire, college careers building their careers and also having good careers. Yeah, okay. Like, this is great.
But there it is.
At some point, we're all gonna get sick of the creative bankruptcy. I'm already there. Like, I love How to Train Your Dragon, right? I'm not going to see that live action one because I'm not going to support the fucking soulless just repackaging of everything so they don't have to pay for new IP.
And the guy was unemployed for 8 months. It's not easy to find a job. Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
China's AI is
Apparently
better.
not.
It really, listen, as much I used DeepSeek and I was not that impressed. I'm just going to be completely honest. As far as using it next to ChatGPT, I hate to say it, man. Format wise, it didn't do well.
I'm wrong.
Hope mommy
When
don't
I
get
say
mad.
it's not easy to find a job after you've been summarily fired,
Here.
I guess I'm wrong. And
No, what's
who
going to
better
happen
to
here is
know
I got to go and
than
give my
Sean
other puppy
Hannity, multi millionaire. Here he is on his radio program
I will give him that. Thank you for the $2 donation, Mitesh. I will give him the treat here in a moment when I can hop upstairs and give my other puppy one.
Trying to justify what's going on with people fired. Now, 30% of the workforce
Getting double the value on that one.
are vets. Personally, I don't think you as a federal worker should be treated any better or worse because you were a vet. But
hard work being a
lot of these people did go through absolute hell in certain situations. And
no. Okay, this one.
Certainly on the right, ostensibly, they care about the vets. Of course they don't.
You're fine.
But here is Sean Hannity explaining to his audience why people got to suck it up.
All right, I'll be right back.
You know,
I'm gonna go give my,
I'm sure your
other dog.
landlord or your bank will allow for you to take a couple of weeks or months off of paying them because you're such a good guy. Remember now, these are people, a lot of these people just got promotions. So put yourself in the mindset of somebody who just got promoted. Oh, we've arrived. Honey, we can afford that we can afford those car payments now. We can afford to, we can afford to build that fence in the backyard or whatever it is. And because you were just promoted, you got fired. Or I'm in civil service. I know there's a cap on what I can make, but I know this is a secure job because I go in and I do my job well every day. I got a good review and government work. Again, I'm not going to become a millionaire, but I am doing good for people and I'm doing a good job, so my job's secure. Nope.
Eric is in Wisconsin. Hey, Eric, how are you? Glad you called.
Hey, Sean, thank you so much for all you're doing. We sure appreciate it here in Wisconsin, and we tried to help out this election cycle.
Well, you helped out big time. You did. Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, all of you helped. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wish we could have got Tammy Baldwin out of there, but it didn't work out too well. But
yeah, well, you came close. I mean, unfortunately, you don't win every game you play.
Yeah, right. But hey, I just awesome stuff that Doge is doing with Elon Musk, and we sure appreciate it out here is what kind of farmers and taxpayers and all that good stuff. But one thing I'm concerned about.
I'll tell you something.
Moron.
God. We'll get to this in a second. USAID, what the annual budget is. But
I like how this guy's railing against government employees in general. Just like the concept of government employees is insane to him. Holy crap. You have way too much faith in the private markets, my guy. Like, you do realize that, you know what? No. Get guys like Eli Brown to go work in factories again with zero regulations. Please go do it. Please go do it. Zero payment regulations, zero, any of it, dude. Go work in a factory for a couple pennies a day. No safety regulations at all. I'm telling you, bro, if this is the utopia that you want, just go fucking do it. Like, actually have some conviction, though. God, I hate people like that.
The taxpayers and farmers.
I get it. Some government shit is overbloated. Some of it, and trust me, I know we've all seen it. Like, we all know at least one person that's done that bullshit where they're like, I got a federal government contract. I'm set.
In Wisconsin,
yeah, that shit should be reevaluated, but that's not what's being reevaluated.
Wisconsin, they're not going to see a single dime of savings. But they're going to see a lot more in terms of costs because the profit making.
Man, they really let the cat out of the bag with what they meant by taxpayers when it is said in the context the caller uses it. Yep.
By corporations.
Yeah, and I also, that caller, the fact that he's a landlord too, and this is the most disingenuous call I've ever heard. But the fact that it's being used the way that it is and then called out the way that it is it's super useful to our cause because it is just like, look, even the renty, like the people who are just as bad. They're the parasite class on a smaller scale. Because if I have to be honest, if I have to choose between calling out a landlord or calling out a billionaire for not paying their taxes, I'm going to call out the billionaire for not paying their taxes first. I'm going to focus on that, because the other side of that, yeah, the landlord sucks, but realistically, that's committing class warfare against ourselves, like in the grand scheme of things.
Who are now not going to have to worry about regulators.
Trust me, and that kind of pains me to say. Like, I'm not trying to stand up for landlords. They suck.
Come at the expense.
As a lib, I just picked up. Oh, congratulations. Wizard of Lizard, welcome, and also, congratulations. I'm proud of you.
The consumers.
Just learn how to use it. Make sure that you go and learn how to use it. Don't just go put it in a safe, forget about it, and have that thing where
of the citizenry. Continue.
666.
Yeah, that out here is
awesome.
What kind of farmers and taxpayers.
For your first? You went with the competitors
and all that good stuff, but one thing I'm concerned about, Sean, a little bit, and I'm concerned the liberal media might run with this, is one of our tenants just recently got laid off from the USDA, and he's disabled vet, multiple deployments overseas, and
like when people hoarding houses, yeah,
and,
that's what's happening.
Yeah, the guy is without a job now.
It's already happening. Like once you hit this is the problem. Once you hit a point of making like even $1 million, say, now these people can afford a financial advisor that is advising them to go invest into property and to use it as Airbnb, and they can, allocate this much towards that mortgage, and this is how much they would need to make a profit. Trust me, man, it's bad. It's bad. So,
and I'm just afraid that stuff like this is going to get out there. And I know you got a soft spot for military.
I'm glad you got the safe. I'm just saying, just learn how to use the firearm, because that's one thing that I have a little bit of I wouldn't say an issue. I'm a little worried is when I have these conversations with fellow leftists, I'm very happy when we get to the gun conversations, but when I ask them how much they've shot or if they've even gone to a range, they usually say no.
1 second.
That's what scares me. They're like, no, I just have it for protection. I'm like,
it's his tenant. Like, I'm worried he's not going to be able to pay me for rent. I'm a little concerned that this guy, I'm not going to pay me for rent. I wonder if Sean's going to say, I know you're going to do your part and not charge him rent for however long it takes him to find a job. Right.
That's the thing about this so-called waste is like so many of these things are providing good.
Oh yeah, if you're getting your CCW, then you'll be fine.
Jobs, and
government doesn't provide jobs. Government doesn't provide jobs.
Well,
government doesn't create jobs. Isn't that what we were told?
I think that might be. We might want to look back.
Do we have to go all?
It's funny because it's really my favorite part about that is I hope there's a right winger in our audience that is seeing this conversation happening in my chat. That's like, wait, are they talking about guns? And wait, they're on the left. Wait a minute.
All the way back.
Because you know what? For real, I have seen this where they're like, oh shit, it makes them uncomfortable because they were much more comfortable with the idea that, these soft libs, they don't like guns, they're coming for our guns.
Yeah, like 8 years.
Now they don't have anything because it's like, when we're on the other side going, we don't want to take yours and we don't want ours taken. Like, what's your argument now there, buddy?
Guys, and just a little concerning that we don't let these guys, fall off the way.
Rental homes do need to exist for people like traveling temp workers and college students. Yeah,
in here and get neglected.
The thing is there should be a cap, and also there should be like I don't know. I don't have the answer for this one. I really don't. I just know that it could be better.
Look, I don't like to see anybody in a position where they're going to lose their job.
I respect all points of view.
In the case of USAID,
you can't respect all points of view. You can respect people's points of view and go, okay, maybe not. You can respect a point of view, but you can not respect the person. Is where I guess I was going with that.
And obviously, your friend, I'm sure, is not a part of this.
I don't know about that.
But there was, tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars just thrown down the drain and stolen from the American.
First off, he doesn't address the USDA, which is what the worker was working at. So they just use USAID because it's the low-hanging fruit where everybody thinks that there are tens and tens.
How come nobody's
and
auditing the
tens of
DOD? Oh, gee, I wonder why.
billions of
They keep saying that they're going to, but they're not.
dollars of fraud
Because Elon was like, I might want to audit the Pentagon.
and waste.
Yeah, okay.
Because it all is going out the door to foreign governments. The USAID budget is $40 billion annually.
My favorite part is if he does actually try that, you're going to see that's where you'll see the pushback of the deep state.
Of that, a minimum
Whatever.
of $2.5 billion
Safe friends going to bed.
goes
Good night,
directly to
Anthony. I appreciate you being here. And yeah, get some sleep.
U.S. farmers. Now, I don't know how much it costs to ship that food, but those are also American companies that are shipping that food.
Yeah, they want to pillage NASA. It's like not even 1% of the budget. That's the thing. These people don't understand math. They don't understand what trillions is. They literally look at it like, oh, well, $1 million is like $100,000 now, so that I could actually make $1 million. So that I definitely want to protect that one. But yeah, even $100 million. What if I have a business? Oh, what if I make my billion? I want to make sure that my billion's protected.
And those farmers have to be paid to grow that.
It's not an audit, though.
Because otherwise,
It's been 1 month since. No, and that's the thing. It's been no. He's going into his second month. I'm so sick of how overly charitable you are to him, where you have. This is where you've lost all credibility. You can't be objective with like your observations politically. If this was Biden, you're so anti. Like you want to talk about TDS, you have BDS, dude, which is more embarrassing, by the way. Because if you add the M to that, well, then maybe you're in for a party. But yeah, man, you got some BDS, and it's kind of sad, bro. Like the fact that you cannot see objectively that the dude lied to you, and that you're still fighting for these ideas. Like he's gonna do the tax on tips, he's gonna do these things, he's gonna do these things.
you wouldn't be able to survive.
Again, man, I pity you at this point. I really do. I pity the fact that you can't be objective.
This is not about the USDA loans
whatever.
that we've heard.
At this point, the left's not going to come save you. And you notice how I'm not sitting here doing the cry, baby, cry. I'm not banning you. No, I'm literally pitying you.
Like,
Biden gave $5 billion. No, he didn't. See, your talking points don't even add up. Number one, no. Your number's completely off. Like, if you just want to completely parrot all the blatant propaganda that you're being fed by the right wing without even looking into it or having any nuance to your argument about, are you going to bring up the fact that it was all old arms just sitting there? The fact that we needed to, we have these treaties for reasons, for influence. I mean, honestly, the other thing is they've convinced you to be an isolationist. Great. Don't complain when China then controls the world through having a bunch of good relationships and oh my God, what did we do? We gave up our influence in the world? Well, we didn't want to pay for any of that bullshit. Why do we have bases in Egypt? What's up with that? Why do we have bases in Germany? What's up with that? Tokyo? Yeah, there's no what the hell? It's almost like there's no historical context for why we would maintain bases all around the world. Also, weird how you're so anti-fucking America in you're so you want the American empire without the imperialism part, which is a little fucking weird. I gotta say. That as the aside, where it's just like, no, I just want to be complete isolationist. We rule world in country because no other country exists.
Farmers getting screwed up.
This is the quintessential American right here. Eli Brown in my chat. He's the quintessential American, never left his country, does not understand how large the world is, probably never met a trans person.
Over because of it.
Let's be fucking real.
It's not about
guys.
snap
It's starting
cuts
to get more and more obvious.
That are coming in the Republican budget.
By giving weapons to Ukraine, we would gain immense intel on Russian military capability. He doesn't want that. He think Ukraine bad. He think Zelensky dictator. He's believing everything out of this orange idiot's mouth. And again, this is where I think it's a psychological thing. I think that, like, I'm gonna just call it. I think Eli has some serious daddy issues. Like, I don't think his dad hugged him enough.
When they complain about USA,
and he thinks that Trump would hug him, but then he'd get that shocker where he's just like, ew, get him away from me.
It's like, why would we spend
don't tell him
$10 million on Sesame Street in Iraq? Man. Haven't we done enough to those people there? Didn't we blow up their whole civil society? Why would we spend $1 to replace it?
All right.
Why would we spend any money in Afghanistan?
Even though she watches the stream, guys.
Who cares if Ebola is spreading like wildfire in certain parts of Africa?
The largest number I've even seen in Ukraine is 60 billion. Again, they care about all of these cuts, and they talk about all of the money being saved, but they can't get a single number right. And they also don't like it when they get objectively proven false. Like the whole $8 billion saved from, I forgot what agency it was now, but then they did the evaluation again. It was 8 million because they didn't know how to do decimal points, apparently. Yeah, dude, the audit. And he's sitting here talking, like, the other crazy part about this is how he's all for an unelected board of fucking teenagers and 20-somethings going in and just unilaterally just being like, nope, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. But he's just like, yeah, fuck the IRS. Like, seriously? They're fundamentally unserious people who they just want the good feels of being like, oh, I'm so powerful because my president, big strong man.
I mean, what could possibly hurt us?
And I'll just say, this is the failure of the Democratic Party. They put in fucking Old Man River. You know, they put up they put up Old Man River. Then I hate to say it, even with Bernie Sanders, like, dude, we can never have anybody that exerts authority, has a mouth on them that, like, you know, oh yeah, he kind of speaks like me. Get with it. I will say this. Get with that part of Trumpism where it's like, no, get over the elitism, because this is why middle America doesn't fucking pay attention to Democrats.
Here.
It's because they're all up their ass about their fucking educations and nobody cares. This is why they call Democrats elite in the first place. What they want is a Democrat in a nice suit who kind of looks like Gavin Newsom who says shithead.
In the wake of a pandemic. Why do we care about providing support? We could just ultimately bomb them.
Don't understand why it's so hard to get somebody like that can also just be like, yeah, you know what? It's time for some Medicare. Let's stop prioritizing. Like, who can talk like Bernie, but also actually be like enough of this bullshit, and just say it. Just say it. But we gotta have this idea. Like, what are we doing at this point? We are in a totally different era of politics, and this is why I will die on this hill that guys like Chuck Schumer and fucking Hakeem Jeffries they're showing us exactly why that type of politics doesn't fly anymore, why it's not going to work.
Even provide any aid.
Sorry.
And then these people in the same breath will be like, but China's our number one competitor and we must defeat them. What do you think China's doing? But all right, so he focuses on something that has nothing to do with this person, this vet, getting fired from USDA.
People and our children and grandchildren. It's just unfortunate he worked for them. With that,
go back. He didn't work for them. He worked for USDA, but he's going to hear USAID every time because that's just a better story. Go ahead.
Was, you know, tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars just thrown down the drain and stolen from the American people and our children and grandchildren. It's just unfortunate he worked for them.
Just so you know, Mitesh, I actually took a video of her getting the treat, just so I can put that in Discord for you guys.
With that said, there are
hundreds of qualified Americans with views like Bernie. They just don't have the name recognition and the Dems do strategy via focus groups and lobbyists so they can get... That's not true, though. Bernie wasn't popular before 2016, really. Like, he had a small coalition who knew who he was from, like, Bill Maher, but realistically, no, it wasn't until the grassroots campaign, and then some of those commercials started, and like you got the younger people who had never heard about him, but they saw that he had a very consistent voting record all the way back to when he started. That's what sold him, was actually being an honest fucking person. But realistically, Guys, we're seeing it right now. It's not about honesty. These people don't give a shit about politicians being fucking honest. If they did, they would be against Donald Trump. They would be against Elon. They'd be against all this shit. I cannot in good conscience just believe that they're that fucking stupid that they don't see it.
To be a lot of job openings. A lot of people, for example, retired.
I could be wrong, though.
And took the early retirement and payout. And then there's
Pause it for a second.
going.
You know, they shifted the buyout to early retirement because there is an early retirement program that you can take and that people by and by take with some regularity in the federal government. And now they said, like, you can't get your early retirement unless you sign the buyout.
One of my concerns is of being occupied by Russia is they have no Russia or YouTube or Discord, though. I wonder if YT and Discord will comply to Russia now that Trump is president. I wonder about that.
Like, people are taking the buyout. Not that many people have. There's usually 150,000 people who turn over in the government annually. And so far,
the name spoiling's the game.
The number
Really
that's floated is 60,000, but that includes the normal attrition. Because you can't do the early retirement thing. No, I'm sure people are getting nervous.
I love her look where she's like, why? What'd I do? The first video I took of her, she literally looked at me like, really?
But they're lying. They're having to lie about this. And if you're looking for encouragement and hope, the idea that they're having to lie about this is a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And
real quick, you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Mitesh over in chat here has been donating puppy treats to my dogs.
And took the early retirement and payout. And then there's going to be jobs hopefully created in the energy sector. When we blow that out, which I believe the president's going to do as quickly as possible, and other opportunities.
Pause it for a second. What does it mean to blow out the energy sector? We already know that we have been drilling and producing more oil than at any other time in the history of the country. What is the energy? More people going to work at gas stations? What exactly is going to happen? If you blow out the energy sector, was it more people are going to work on oil rigs? Is that what he's talking about? This disabled vet is going to go work on an oil rig? Is that what he's talking about? I mean, what happens when the energy sector, this is going to be offset, incidentally, by all the cuts to like solar and wind power and people who've been working in those industries. I mean, you understand that we're weeks away from looking at a number. Every federal worker you cut, every federal dollar you cut, every federal grant you cut causes in the private sector this many people to lose their jobs and this many people to lose money. If they're successful at what they want to do, aside from leaving Americans less safe, they are going to also leave them poorer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, did you see that, like, the tax cuts, like, that came out? It's anybody that's making under, it was like $360,000 a year are like, your taxes, well, I'm putting mine up there too. Your taxes are about to go up by almost $1,600.
Hopefully, if they're lucky, they'll be able to say, "Oh, but we're going to give you a tax cut." And of course, most of that money is going to rich
by the
people.
way.
Go ahead.
Up.
That out, which I believe the president's going to do as quickly as possible.
We're essentially paying it's around $1,600, and then literally the next class up, they get a cut of $1,700. How the fuck does that work? Also, sowing a little bit of division, because I'll tell you what, that one, if those motherfuckers are the ones sitting here arguing for those tax cuts and they make just that much amount over what we're making, yeah, you know what? You know that whole argument I made about, like, maybe not going after the landlords? Maybe I'll rescind that one a little bit.
And other opportunities we all have to think of the what if you lose your job. Everybody has to have that in the back of their head. My entire career, I assumed I'd be fired any day.
Pause it for a second.
And
now, if Hannity had been fired 15,
this is the reason that I can't listen to like certain comedians anymore. Even
20 years ago, he could live off his millions and millions of dollars he already made.
So efficient.
And here's a taste of Republican leadership. Always have anxiety about your job.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, that's also exactly it. They don't want you to have job security. Job security doesn't make you work like you might lose your job.
Always.
Like, the only people that are benefiting from this are the fucking like boss class. Like, honestly, Eli, my problem is you're the antithesis to punk rock. You're literally like, you might as well put on your little Sunday's best, put your lipstick on, because trust me, you're going to have to fillet a lot of people, man. A lot of people. Just get ready, man. Also, I hope you have that boot polish ready.
That's the way we should live. Anxiety. Are we going to be able to pay for our kids?
And these people do it under the auspices of caring for themselves and their personal financial situation, but they don't see how contributing to a society would actually increase, the benefits out of living in said society to where they would get cuts, and they just, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You're not cyberpunk. You're a cyberfuck is what you are.
That's why
cyberpunk. You don't even get to use the word punk.
Healthcare. Bad idea.
Oh my God. The fact that you tried, dude, you can't even use the term mod. Like, I wouldn't even call you a mod, because at least mods had some like form of backbone, and they were a little bit of hooligans. You're just you're a pathetic loser that loves some Bitcoin and Elon Musk because somebody told you this was your way to easy money.
Cuts down on worker anxiety.
And you're afraid of being taxed on your future earnings from your cyber investments.
Remember, we don't want the liberal media to make something out of this this vet. Go ahead.
In the back of their head. My entire career, I assumed I'd be fired any day. And with the,
seriously,
but
you're like well, the fact that you're a cipher punk. No, you're a cipher poser.
But smart, innovative,
I'm not even going to put the cyber in there.
Hardworking people will always be in demand.
Bro.
Always. And it sounds like I'm describing your friend. And I would just urge that person, do not get discouraged. And I don't know if he's getting the buy-up.
Sean, why don't you hire him?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's smart and innovative in this and that. Like, multiple tours, disabled vet.
Crypto retired me. Prove it. 420 donation right now. If you got that much fuck you money, 420 donation right now, or you're a lying sack of shit, then I'm gonna just ban you. I can't stand people like you. You never put your money where your mouth is.
This is a guy who wants to get out there and be an entrepreneur.
Full of
shit.
He just accidentally got hired by the government.
Yeah.
Or not getting the buy. I'm not sure. If he is, that would mean he has until October 1. He will get paid until then. That gives him time, and that gives him time.
Eli, you're a caricature of yourself. He really is.
To find a job that he's gonna, thrive in and be successful at and be happy and secure again. And however, to continue to spend tens of billions of dollars.
There it is. Eli, note it right now, and I got this one recorded, so this one's going out there. Eli Brown is a liar.
Dollars on wokeism, transgenderism,
They can, again, so much FU money. You'd think that with FU money, they'd actually pay to say FU to like people like me that are honestly calling them out, because I'm not even trying. Like, yeah, go ahead. Seriously, go ahead.
EI and the Green New Deal abroad as the country.
I'm going to leave because you're making fun of me, you meanie bobini. No, we're calling you out because you're a fucking loser. And honestly, you're a caricature of yourself. I retired myself on crypto, bro.
Years off into bankruptcy is not an alternative. It's not an option for us.
Oh, man. I love these losers.
He can't do this to the American taxpayer either. And he's just caught up in that, unfortunately for him. There are good people that are going to be
e-begging whore.
Hurt because the people that have
prove me wrong, bitch.
Done this to the country.
You can literally prove me wrong with one donation.
Have put them in vulnerable.
Dude, I love Crypto Bros because not one of them has actually gone through with it.
Positions. It's really not Donald
None
Trump
of
to
them
put them in the
have
vulnerable positions. The people that wasted all this
Shit!
money that put them in
What
the vulnerable
fuck?
position in
Mitesh
my
coming
mind.
out.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just it's tough to see, and
Yeah,
especially
work
for
on Saturday
veterans
now.
that have done so much. We just
Yeah.
we got
You know what? But
Oh, damn.
there will be other opportunities that are now going to emerge in a new economy, and make sure that he.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. It's for my dog,
he
bro.
makes available to him that I would have go and get that government payout till October 1. That buys him time. And you know what I say to people that are out of work
we
all
don't
the
need to
time? I
listen
say,
anymore. I mean, obviously, like
Well, Mitesh, that one, I'm going to give him a donut. I feel bad.
he's just desperately hoping that this guy
crap.
took the buyout. And of course, there is no budget line item for the budget for the buyout. That is, incidentally, that's a fictional buyout at this point. There is no money available for a buyout. It doesn't exist. It's in no budget. But they have to lie.
I can't engage with crypto anything. I seriously, like, the thing is, these guys, that they're like terrified of the fact that these billionaires got in. And yeah, if you like, I actually personally know 2 people in my life that got in super early. They did pretty much retire themselves. But when I say pretty much, now they're constantly having to play the game because they are worried that it could just all erupt the next day. And also because they have that like thing for speculative assets, they're always playing high, like they're playing with a lot of risks. So holy shit, Mitesh, I still can't believe this. Like, you why did you step in to it's like, I mean, holy shit. So I believe that Mitesh may have retired himself on cryptocurrency, but I do not believe that Eli Brown did. I think that Eli Brown is one of those LARPers who goes around. Maybe he does have crypto assets and, he watches them, go up while he hodls. But this whole he retired on them. Yeah, he retired in his mind.
They have
He
to
retired
lie
in his mind because
they
his mom
realize
still
how bad
supports
this
him.
sounds. The guy calls in. I'm afraid the liberal media is going to talk about this. I'm afraid this liberal media is going to talk about this real person who's going through this real thing.
How we're purging veterans from the civil service.
And, he's my tenant, which means that I could be out some money.
Right.
So this is really serious.
That's so perfect that he's a landlord.
Yep.
I do like how Hannity both accidentally reframed him, the USDA employee, as a USAID worker, and also reframed this guy as this guy's friend, not his tenant.
Yep.
But hey, a new economy coming, folks.
Hey,
Right around the corner.
yeah, the new energy blowout, whatever that means. New economy.
Folks, if we have time, call into Hannity and tell us about your call if you make it
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Here is Brian Kilmeade on Fox and
There we
Friends
go.
this morning. And
Danny Lee.
they're
As, like,
all
the-
like running cover now for this because there are people at town halls going in going like,
Trump over Biden.
hey, man.
Okay, fine. What, dude? Again, more cultists. Like, again, the fact that these guys are so gung ho after the election, and they're just like, look, our guy won, your person lost, blah, blah, ha 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 ha. Even though I'm literally like, you put Biden, wasn't a Biden fan. Like, I wasn't. I was just gonna vote for him begrudgingly if I had to. I was gonna vote for Kamala begrudgingly because if I had to, because I saw what's happening here. And yeah, I guess, like I said, I guess I'm a status quoist now. But fuck me if more and more Republicans don't actually agree with me now. Where maybe this whole like auditing the federal government the way that they are isn't working. Maybe it's, oh my God, the leopards came for them. They're eating their faces. Oh no.
What's going on?
The fact is, Trump's approval ratings are slipping. It's not just aggregate polling, dude. Like, I'm seeing it in my everyday life with people who have supported him who no longer support him. You know, like as much as I love how you can also, they play these fucking games where, well, that's just anecdotal. Well, that's just the fake news. It's never what we're living. It's only what they think. It's only what they're seeing. Yeah. Okay.
Here.
What's happening is great. Maybe by your reporting, but see, this is the difference. Like, even on the left here, like you can think that we're doing the fake news. We're just reporting on shit. We're reporting on the fact that people are calling in saying, hey, I'm a federal worker. I was a Republican. I voted for Trump. I don't think that he's making the right moves here. The fact that they had no wherewithal about the fact that Alabama, Arkansas, Kansas, Mississippi, they all have tons of federal employees to the point where they make up over 20% of their economy. So these things are actually tentative shit that's happening. Communist left-wing propaganda, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly.
Now, let's be clear.
Love all the corruption coming out. What corruption? The fact that, dude, you have an unelected oligarch controlling our president, or controlling our vice president, I should say. Like, we have an unelected president controlling our new VP, and then we got his, I don't even know what JD Vance is anymore, but bro, no. Like, if this was the Soros thing, like the difference between what you guys thought the deep state was is that they're doing this out in the open. So it's not the deep state, it's the scene state. And you're just like, well, but the guy, I like the guy. This is my guy. I'm too far in with my guy. I can't recognize that they're fucking me. Nah, I'm going to keep on going with this team, even though, yeah. Like, the saddest part is knowing that, like, you guys will also give him money and, like, then complain about the economy. Like, and then also acknowledge that inflation is up 3.5, but it's Biden inflation. It's the inflation that's coming off of, the bad year, even though inflation was down to 3.2%. And this coming into a new year like this, especially with the economy that we had, no, they're actually saying that this is the first time that this dip doesn't make sense, because if they continued with what Biden was doing and took some of the good ideas that Biden had, or to some of the shit that they were doing with the economy, then they would just keep going. But no, they want their tax cuts before 2026. They want this bill voted on so they can get these tax cuts in by 2026, because they know they're fucked. They know that they're already underwater. Look at the town halls right now, man. So getting a peace deal. Do you really believe all the shit that you read? Dude, Ukraine's not even part of it. And did you see what happened with the EU voting unilaterally against it? Like, Danny, I can't help stupid. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm actually trying to be fair, but what you're doing is you're just crowing all the stuff from mainstream, or like honestly, it's the mainstream media now, because Fox News is the #1 propaganda news network. How the fuck you not going to call that mainstream media? How the fuck you not going to call it a propaganda network? And how the fuck you not going to recognize that you just keep parroting the right-wing talking points and never have an objective thought of your own going,
The people
but I don't care,
who
man.
are showing up.
Don't accept Trump's stimulus money? Okay, fine. Actually, I won't, because it's going to fuck me in my taxes again. Like, that's what happened the last time, and that's what... Danny, do you care about the deficit, or are you happy that he's moving it up to $4 trillion? Because I thought you guys were deficit hawks. I thought that was the whole reason you wanted this to happen. So you're cool with him moving our deficit up to $4 fucking trillion? Be consistent, you fucking dill hole.
They voted for Trump.
InfoWars is the best. Oh, so you like conspiracy theories, but you also like ignoring the fact that this is exactly what Alex Jones was calling out in the Bush era, but then as it happened with the people funding him, he all of a sudden changed his tune, became a mouthpiece for him, but yeah, somehow he's the one that's telling the truth. Danny, I'm sorry for you, man. You're too far gone.
You really are. Agent. He voted for Trump.
You won't be able to have an objective thought of your own, because that means that you're falling for the lib ploy. Like, dude, they literally bastardized thinking for yourself. That's kind of funny.
That doesn't mean that they were necessarily MAGA. He said that, well, I thought this guy was a business guy, and I thought he...
We accept chatters on Twitch. It's quiet over here.
...would come in and do things efficiently. I mean, this...
Also, if you haven't already liked the stream, hit that like button. You know the deal. It helps me out, and it makes it cool.
Sort of mythology around Donald Trump. He's a business guy. He's going to do things efficiently. I didn't think he would just will.
It's so common amongst Russian population to parrot the state propaganda while saying they don't watch TV, government media for some reason. Exactly. No, it's all social. Like, no, what these idiots, they love to act like they're smarter than they are. I do my own research. You poop and scroll Facebook, dude. Be real.
Nilly
Like,
cut things.
At least be fucking real with
here's
it.
the thing: is that like we are uneducated as a country as to what it means to be a billionaire. It means A, they don't pay taxes. Everything they do is structured to avoid paying taxes. His Trump Foundation is structured to avoid paying taxes. They don't care about the IRS.
The thing is, Danny, you're so dumb that you don't even get it. Like, now you're just like, oh, COVID broke you. Honestly, dude, I hope you're of the age that the next COVID wave or whatever the fuck does hit us that you're not vaccinated against does get you.
Inefficiency? Trump just ordered $200 million, I think it was.
That's the world that I like to live in.
To DHS to make videos thanking him for
I mean, the funniest part is you can actually look at how many less people we have on the Social Security rolls because of COVID. So that's kind of funny.
stopping immigrants from coming into the
You could also look at voting demographics too and how much those change.
country. That doesn't seem to be terribly efficient. But now that when they see the implications,
Was the flu man-made too? Was any of it like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. The thing is, it doesn't matter. Now it's out there. Everybody's getting sick. You've either had it or you got the jab, and now you don't get as sick. Or, well, that's not true anymore, because I can tell you that the new waves of COVID are just as bad. But whatever, man. Like, honestly, as I said, don't believe in any of it. Don't. By all means, brother. Don't. Go get infected. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, go touch some dead birds.
when you cut willy-nilly. And we haven't even seen the implications of it. We're just seeing the first
The fact is, you're arguing stupid shit.
round of like the direct implications.
Your brain is still
on
in 2001,
workers.
brother.
We
Yeah, go
haven't even
juggle some dead
seen
birds.
the knock-on effects. And hopefully, Democratic politicians.
I like how Mitesh scared the other guy, scared the crypto bro, because he's just like, oh, look at this guy begging, look at him begging. Oh shit, he got the money.
And others will draw the connection between
That was
you
fun.
fire someone at the USDA
Want to rip on my numbers some more, brother?
and SNAP benefits are late. You fire somebody at the USDA and, hey, wait a second. Why are we having problems with our food supply? You fire someone at the USDA and maybe like, how did this bird flu?
There's just as much evidence to suggest that it came from a lab as it came from a bat. Why does it fucking matter? The fact is, you can't wrap your head around the fact that it was a virus that killed a whole lot of people. Or did it not? Because you're never consistent in your conspiracy theories. It was either fake, like it was all false. The deaths, they weren't actual COVID deaths. There's always something. You always have something. You can never just be like, people got sick, people died. We didn't, it was a novel coronavirus. We actually, the one thing that I agree with that Trump did was he fast-tracked that mRNA vaccine, but that's the one thing that you can't even wrap your head around and go, oh, but he's not deep state. Go fuck yourself, you stupid son of a bitch. Seriously, I can't take these people anymore. They're so stupid and inconsistent in every argument they make.
We get so out of hand.
It's always just libs bad, deep state.
But in the meantime, what they're doing is they're just bailing water. And they're having to lie. And like I say, that's a good sign. They've run out of actual, there's no ideology here.
No.
MAGA just loves Donald Trump.
Yeah.
There are people who voted for Donald Trump because they thought they were getting something slightly different. An efficient businessman. Or getting rid of all the wokeism. And people wake up and they're like, is the wokeism gone yet? It is? How come it's raining? Isn't this supposed to affect the weather?
And almost every agency wants them to come in. So go ahead and gut Treasury. Because you know what helps? Because cabinet secretary's got certain responsibilities, and the president's got to get elected, and people. But when you have someone from the outside come in and make some tough cuts, you could say, I don't have my hands in that.
Well, yeah, wait a minute. Actually, you make a good point there. What deep state? Yeah, if Trump destroyed it all, what deep state? Wait a minute.
Back they're getting in some of these town
Woke deep state abolished by Donald Trump.
halls is real. I'm sure there's some people in there that voted for Trump and said, I walked into work.
That woke DEI deep state, you know, like there's no blatant conflicts of interest in Elon doing anything he's doing. There's nothing to see, you know, with the whole firing of 4-star generals, making our country even fucking more susceptible to all the fuckery that's going on. Yeah, but cool.
And I lost my job.
Whatever, man. The fact is, you're anti-American, like in the way that you like. If you don't like the federal government, that just admit you don't like America. You're anti-American. You were anti-American from the very beginning. What you want is a new dictatorship, America. Which, I'm sorry, brother, that's Trumpia. Like, if you want Trumpia, fine, but
that's going to be.
He's been in
one of the.
He said he was going to end the war in one day. He said he was going to literally get no tax on tips. He said he was going to do all these things. What? Eggs. Why are eggs still so fucking expensive, Eli? Why are eggs so fucking expensive, Eli?
Casualties of having to take a $2.7 million federal workforce and
gas is still up, Eli.
Knock it down to maybe half of that. So I think we got a heads up on it. As I think the president would do.
Also, I still think you're a liar.
Yourself a favor, and the Treasury Secretary especially, just saying, hey, we have a $7 trillion budget. We only make $5.9 trillion. The revenue gap is $2 trillion. This is part of closing that gap. Right. Is lessening the responsibility.
They really are lemmings. And the thing is, they say that about like the left and Dems, but like we're all just constantly like questioning our party. Like this is the reason that we can never coalesce, is because we're always questioning these things. Meanwhile, you dumbasses are just like, yes. I mean, to the point where you're like, yes, Roman salute.
It's not punitive.
Seriously.
Okay, first off, he starts off by
why are the pizza rolls gone, Eli?
Saying, well, at least we can bring in Musk and pretend like it's his fault. We can bring in a consultant. And this, again, also,
nice fire.
Democrats should be out there, get rid of the word MAGA. There's no MAGA Republicans.
He's only been in there 1 month. I really wish. I mean, I don't want to get like the brain rot from going through your freaking social media posts, but I wish I could see the social media posts from from when Biden got into office.
There's Republicans. Donald Trump is a Republican president. Musk is working for a Republican.
Well, I can't ban me. I mean, I can ban you, and I probably will if you keep fucking being a moron. But no, the thing is, guys. I know that's like one of your little badges of honor where, oh, look, the meanie bobini left banned me. See, look, the intolerant left. No, I'm just letting the garbage take itself out with this one.
Administration. This is what
I mean, honestly, like you got embarrassed, man. Like just take the L, and I mean, you can just walk out. It's fine. But I mean, I encourage, by all means, you can stay here because now we all just know that you're just kind of a sad, lonely person that's a liar. So
what Republicans do.
Why take anything you have to say seriously?
15 years ago, I sat on a stage. I got invited to that Aspen Idea Festival or something once in my life with Janine.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and it was some game.
this dumbass hasn't noticed that I have three mods right now, just circling him.
Game show or talk show that we were supposed to do. This sort of supposed to be somewhat fun, and so they had us interview.
Doesn't help that the leader of the Vultures is literally holy. Grover
Norquist, and it was supposed to be fun. And Grover Norquist was the head of an organization. I don't even know if it exists anymore. Taxpayers for America, Fairness, bull.
He's an E-liar. Ew, is there
shit, whatever it was. And
that has so many layers to
it. Type.
I like it.
Tea Party. It was Americans for Tax Reform, and they ran
smell blood in the water.
I think it was in Philadelphia. Who we now think of as like, oh, he's an old style Republican. No, he was a lunatic. And I remember interviewing, and maybe this was in like 2010, because I feel like I talked about it on this show. We're talking to Grover Norquist, and we're trying to keep it light because it's supposed to be fun. And he immediately launches in about federal workers and all the benefits they get and how unfair that is for other workers. And I was like, well, maybe we should give those to other
Whale
workers.
face, baby.
And their project to demonize federal workers was in full swing 15 years ago. And probably before then. The idea, I mean, you go back to what was it, 2008, where, they're talking about maybe before this, cutting the Department of Education, getting rid of government agencies, getting rid of the IRS, cutting federal workers. Clinton capitulated to it by setting up a committee, and it took, of course, they studied it for 8 months and ended up cutting, a small percentage of the workforce. But they studied it at least. But it was garbage then too. Our federal workforce, relative to our population, has been static for 40 years.
Cut it all. All right, then cut Danny's. Let's make sure that Danny, for anybody saying cut it all, let's make sure that Danny Lee doesn't get any support in any regard for anything ever. Not I hope that, no, give up all your insurance too there, dude. Since, no, you don't believe in a federal government and paying taxes, then you don't believe in paying insurance either. Because you don't need it. What's the point? It's a fucking waste of money for you. Put your money where your mouth is. Have some actual convictions. The other sad part is how they always crow about this shit, but they're not actually manly enough to institute it in their own lives. They'll sit there crowing about how, we give all this money.
Concerned about the deficit or the debt.
What up,
then
Kirk?
why are they going to promote a $4.5 trillion tax cut?
Yeah, just noticed that you weren't here.
Why would you?
Although, hey, man, get this shit. You missed this. So we got a guy over in YouTube chat, not Danny, Eli Brown. Eli claims that he's a crypto bro who retired himself on crypto, but he cannot put his money where his mouth is. Because, again, that much FU money, you'd think that with this much shit that I'm talking, he would just pay for it. Because I told him 420 donation right now. Guess who comes in with the 420 donation right after I say that shit? Mitesh with the win, baby!
Cut revenue.
Everybody shout
if
out
you're
Mitesh.
concerned about this. Because they're not.
Real shit.
They're not concerned about the deficit.
And all the people they represent
They're not concerned about the debt.
have so much money. It's
Just getting my last visit
so
now. Hell
absurd.
yeah.
They don't care about those things. They don't.
At chat, I need you to all message me why you should be in chat or you're fired. Yeah, give 5 very specific reasons, guys. 5 things you did last week that
They're gonna try and vote on a bill tomorrow, I think.
Oh, damn, $420. You gone loco. I mean, legit. I have to work on Saturday now, and I was only here for not even the 420 for the 4 hours and 20 minutes. So that's kind of crazy.
That's going to cut like $800 billion of Medicaid.
Appreciate it.
Among other things.
Just don't know. Oh, man, I'm going to have to plan that.
And Trump gives away the game.
The team.
Well, we're not going to touch Medicaid, except for all
we got a ringer.
The illegal immigrants that are taking Medicaid.
Kirk's just sitting there like, all right.
And all the DEI
I hope that
and
you're like one of the ones that
and
like
transgender.
You see the guy make a slap shot goal, like beautiful goal, but you're still like, you got your own, and you're like, all right, okay.
Stuff.
Either that or you're like the jealous guy.
And
like,
that's going to be $800 billion.
Mott's not included.
You're an idiot.
Yep.
Well, you also may just be ignorant.
I like how Sam's saying
really
the same thing I was saying.
There's 2 classes of people who believe Donald Trump when he says.
Oh, I see how it is. That's all
3
right.
classes of people.
Yeah.
When he says we're not going to touch Medicaid. One is somebody who just doesn't
I like
follow
how you're
these
just
things.
like, all right. Oh, all right.
2 is someone who hasn't gone back to the last time he was president in his attempts to cut things then.
Here. I also sent this.
And 3, one is just being willfully ignorant.
Oh, shit.
light.
Squishmile coming in with the gifted sub. Thank you for the gifted sub to Kirk.
Maybe that's 4.
Aw.
They don't care about the deficit or the debt. Because for every
And a shout
for
out.
every
Look
one
at
of
you.
these agencies that gets cut,
I thought it was sub over on Twitch. You were I think your sub went up today.
dollar for dollar, it probably puts It is a transfer of wealth from U.S. citizens into the pockets of shareholders of corporations. They don't care about U.S. aid. They care about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
And you get Hamtaro.
They don't care about, the IRS. The rest of them, they actually just genuinely care about. But that's why you bring up any
Dude, my Gerd is one of my favorite memes to ever come out.
agency, they're going to talk about U.S. aid. They're just getting rid of the wokeness. Here is a C-SPAN caller from West Virginia calling in on Friday. Like I say, when you cut government agencies, what you are doing is you are redistributing money from the citizenry and society at large into corporate coffers because you're cutting regulations, you're cutting things and regulators who are specifically there to curb corporate profits, to curb corporations from offloading their costs on.
That's one of the simplest comebacks I've seen, but damn it, if I haven't seen it. Kirk, I disagree to disagree.
To American
that was a good one.
Citizens, consumers, taxpayers, and private.
Fuck those agencies until I need my tax return or until you actually make an, or like you file where you do get a tax. Like, shut up.
Advertising those profits.
Dude, oh my God. It's always until you need yours. That's the biggest problem here, guys. And it always does come down to that where like conservative liberal kind of bullshit, like the juxtaposition between the two is me, we. Well, the conservatives, they just think about their family. Like, I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine. Everybody's fucking corrupt, dude. Everybody's corrupt. Danny, you're corrupt. If you were in the government, you'd be corrupt too. You're nobody. Where's this perfect politician? Explain it.
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling from West Virginia, and which was a red state for Donald Trump.
I don't understand this idea where everybody, like, they pretend like they're such good fucking people. I already know that Danny probably he's already done some pretty unscrupulous shit. All of us have. And if he tries to say otherwise, then we know he's also a liar, which would tell us that there's a common thread amongst all these people coming in, with right-wing sensibilities into my chat where it's just like, what is this? Like, it's like, do you all lie to yourself just to make yourself feel better? That would explain a lot.
They have a place called down here Public Debt, and a lot of my neighbors.
The difference is we didn't lie to ourselves about Kamala. We accepted what that was.
Voting for Trump, they walking around scared, crying, nervous, and they were forever Trumpers. But on a personal note, I'm a diabetic and I'm on Medicare. And when Joe Biden was in there, my insulin was $6 for a 28-day supply. I just went to CVS to get my new supply. It went back up to $80.
You've never had it. You've never written off anything on your taxes. Never.
They said because the American Recovery Act was canceled, so it went from $6 to $80.
Because I know that's legal, but technically, come on, man.
I don't know if anybody else
really?
out there on Medicare.
The subsidies are gone.
For what? No, actually, Danny, for what? They need to be in prison for what? For what? Doing their fucking jobs? What? And who are you saying needs to go to prison? Which politicians need to go to prison? Which federal workers need to go to prison that are mismanaging everything? Because honestly, dude, you seem to have all these answers, but I don't see Danny Lee for Congress anywhere. So enough. What I just did right there is I put you on the pay no mind list. So you can keep going and chatting and engaging with them, but I'm done with
Subsidies are gone. They're rescinding all sorts of stuff.
It's not efficient to have people get insulin for cheap.
Yeah, but that insulin, we can't have insulin going to people. Can't have cheap insulin and good policy. What's that? Oh, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out in the algorithm. And also, check out my live streams weekdays from Monday through Friday and special Saturday streams. I really appreciate you guys checking out the content, and I'll see you in the next one.